This isn't working. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. The stupid application I'm using to record my video stuff here is telling me the microphone isn't working, and I know it is. Stupid ass. Anyhow, how y'all doing, everybody? It's the 20th of September, 2012. I got an interesting email from somebody who's looking for some old copies of Forecast FM. Remember this? This was done back in the 70s. You know, you go to your local newsstand there at your drug fair or Crown Books, and you'd find a copy of Forecast FM. This was a local publication, the entertainment guide for the Washington area. And basically it was what was on the radio, a lot of it, you know. This was back, you know, when you had Quad FM. And it's fascinating to look through this thing. You know, you've got a lot of ads in here from local stereo stores, stereo equipment places, selling tape. What else? Articles on Procol Harum, Frank Zappa. Okay, record shops, Record and Tape Ltd. there, 19th and L. You know, and then they actually had listings, hour by hour listings for all classical radio stations. So, you know, you looked here at Sunday at the 21st of, I guess this was July, to 1974. Then WAMU was running, okay, this is jazz too. WAMU was running a jazz show, and WGMS had a classical show. No, they actually, okay, it was more than that. They actually had, like, program listings. So they have WGTS in here, WGTB, WITF out of Pennsylvania, WBJC, WGMS, mainly classical listings, but they also had programming for, like, NPR and stuff like that. So you could actually sit and see, okay, then you had the week at a glance where they had all the, you know, stations and WAMU, WETA, WMAL, FM, when it was progressive rock. Wow. WEZR, Easy Radio, 106.7. And then they had a nice page in here where they always had the stats of all the radio stations and their signals, scanning the dial stats. And it told you radio stations, their frequencies, their powers, their address, their formats, their phone numbers, and whether they broadcasted in stereo, and of course, Quad. Back when, remember Quad, where it was 4 speakers instead of 2? But anyhow, I have this one copy. That's all I have. I believe Dave Statter gave this to me years ago, and I treasure it. And I'd love to get some more copies of this. So if anybody knows where there's any more copies of Forecast FM, let me know, because I would love to get my hands on some of these if they're around anywhere. I don't know. I think, you know, they're probably long been shredded. But, you know, it's a really cool magazine. Got lots of cool memorabilia from the Washington, Baltimore area. Yeah, baby. So what's the big news today? Adam Tuss, we broke the story yesterday. Adam Tuss has jumped from WTOP, where he's been doing sprawl and crawl transportation news, and he's going to jump over to Channel 4 starting in October, and he's going to be covering, of course, transportation issues. Is this camera even on me? Hi there. There we go. I don't know, man. I'm fighting with it. I'm fighting on this morning. So Adam Tuss, congratulations to him. Leaving a WTOP. And we're also getting confirmation now that Laura Evans is off the 5 p.m. evening weekday Channel 5, WTTG, Fox 5, whatever you want to call them, newscast. Will Thomas will now replace her, and he'll be paired with Sean Yancey. Evans will continue to do weekend anchoring on the station, and she will cover consumer news. I guess she's going to be Channel 5's Liz Crenshaw, covering consumer news on weekdays for Channel 5. Our sources say Laura is not terribly happy about the change. Well, you know, it sounds like a demotion, right? Arch Campbell is heading to Count Gore Vidal's dungeon. Count Gore remember him? He used to be the horror movie host there on Channel 20. He's we got a tribute page up to him on DCRTV Plus, by the way, to Count Gore. Anyhow, he's on. He still does his show. Where he does plays an old horror movie, and has guests come in during little breaks in the show. It's at countgore.com, and his guest this weekend will be Arch Campbell, the longtime DC TV film reviewer dude. Arch now currently works at Channel 7, used to be at Channel 4 for many years. I did Count Gore's show. Count Gore is actually Dick Dizell, longtime local TV personality. He used to play Captain 20 there on Channel 20. I did Dick's Count Gore's dungeon back in, I think it was 2007. Dick has a nice suburban home here in Washington area. You drive by, it looks just like a nice suburban neighborhood, cul-de-sac with neatly groomed lawns and, nice neighborhood. And then you go down the stairs to the basement, and there's the dungeon. There's a real coffin, and all the props, and the hanging rubber chickens, and all that, and a camera, and studio, and ta-da, the water heater, and it's all there. So I did that back in 2007. I have that on DVD somewhere. If you want to see it, let me know. I'll dig it out again. It's one of these old DCRTVs. I showed that a couple years ago. Still no return of Bryan Nehman over there on WMAL. Remember we told you last week that Bryan was heading to Baltimore's WBAL, and he wasn't on the station Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Now, Bryan's wife did have a baby on last Thursday, so I guess he's home recuperating and taking care of the baby and changing diapers. But the rumor is that at least WMAL is reporting that he's been out with a cold or something like that. I don't know. The quotes he gave to the Baltimore Sun kind of disparaged the station a little bit, and it'd be kind of an awkward return. But I guess, he's supposed to be back maybe tomorrow. Who knows? For a couple of days before he vamooses up to Baltimore. I don't know. WMAL's morning show just sounds more and more irrelevant to me. I really think that Brian Wilson is gearing for a job with the RNC. I think that that's his future, and he realizes that WMAL is going to be hitting implosion mode soon. We're really hearing about a lot of changes at the station. They added that second transmitter on FM, and their ratings have actually gone down in a political year. That's not good. Going back to AM only, perhaps, and maybe making some major changes in mornings. And Brian Wilson, maybe he's going to fly the coop and go to the RNC. Certainly sounding like a GOP machine man these days. So there. All right, folks. Okay. What's today? What is today? Okay, we got about a couple more minutes left. Give me 2 more minutes. Remember, we're celebrating DCRTV's 15th anniversary this week, and one of the things we're doing is looking back on some past years of DCRTV, and I pulled up the DVD for the CD or whatever it's called these days for 2008. So this is DCRTV. How many years? That's 4 years ago. Okay, so we looked at 2007 the other day, and 2005, 2004, whatever. So this is 2008. We're just looking at some of the big stories back at DCRTV. The website's starting to look a little more like it does currently, as I adopt the current high design standards. Jim McKay recently passed away. This was, remember him? He's a Maryland native from Moncton, Maryland. He passed away back there in 2008, and they were having services for him, the longtime ABC sports guy. Dan Snyder reportedly pays $24.5 million for, remember he bought 3 stations from Clear Channel, WTEM 980 and WTNT 570 and 1260 WWRC. He bought all 3 of those AMers, and then he made, basically merged his Triple X sports talker in WTEM, putting that conglomeration on 980 there, and eventually sold WRC 1260. So that was back in 2008, and I broke that story, damn it, and the Post stole it from me without crediting me. That made me mad. That's why I've never continued. That's why I don't like Paul Furry. Never will like the dude after he did that. That said to me, the guy's scum. So there. WMAL for sale. Okay, well, we get some rumors right. We don't get some rumors right. What other stuff is going on? I'm not seeing a lot of huge news back then. The program director at W Big is gone. Dan Michaels is gone. Yeah, well, whatever. Snyder plans to drop talk from 570. What's he going to do with it? Well, eventually he did flip that over to Sports Talk, so I guess that rumor came true. Marc Steiner lands the WEAA show. Yeah, sure. I get his newsletter just about every day. DCR is reporting rumors about a possible lineup change. Well, we always are reporting possible lineup changes at WMAL. Chris Plante, moving Chris Plante around, getting rid of Fred, Grandy, and Andy. They eventually did do that. So here's 2000 and 3WT. Remember 3WT? It was Washington Post Radio on 1500 AM, 107.7 FM, and then it kind of went down the toilet. And then Bonneville, the WTOP's owner back then, decided to try 3WT, an all-talk station, and they had an all-female morning show at the time. Jane Norris. Well, at least they were testing it. David Burd was doing the show, but then they tested some female hosts on it, and eventually they pulled the plug on it. You know what? Looking back on it, I really think they could have made a success out of that station. But there was the old logo for it, 3WT. I don't think they gave it enough chance to survive. But then again, what do I know? Oh, Channel 45 is debuting its high-def newscast. This was back in 2008. Marc Fisher pens his latest listener column in Sunday's Washington Post, claiming that radio is drained of creativity and it's no longer worthy of a column. So there. That was his last official radio column there. So, whatever. Radio is no longer creative. As if the Washington Post still is. Chick Hernandez to host a golf show on CSN. Okay. And Diane Rehm, new social network there for her. And Chris Gore on why he lost his show. Why he lost his WMAL show. Remember, Chris got bounced from WMAL in February of 2008, back in the day when they did a whole lot of big changes there, big cuts at WMAL, and they got rid of the smooth jazz format there over on Sister 105.9. So Chris Gore there. Chris is currently working at all over the place. He's at the POTUS channel in Sirius XM, and he's still does those core values commentaries on TOP, and I believe it's a paid ad in the Washington Examiner. Anywho, thanks for watching Dave TV for today, the 20th of September, 2012. Don't forget, 15th anniversary, send us $15, send us $1,500, send us $15,000, something like that. That'd be cool. Have a great one. Click on the support tab, top of DCRTV. I could do that. Oh, wrong fingers. These fingers. Live long, prosper.